Hey, so greetings and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be working on, like the finishing touches to add song, right? So basically what I kind of got going here was I got all these validators going, right? So basically if the value is kind of other, if that value is equal to other, then I'm going to want to know the album title, then it's going to be for insert, right? I'm going to want that information so I can add it to the appropriate I can add it to the appropriate tables. If not, right, then we're just going to grab that. We're going to grab that ID and then try to go from there, right? So essentially, right, if the value is going to be other, I'm going to try to make sure that I kind of execute these first, before I add the song itself, right? So that's what we kind of want to do there. And then I was then writing some validations to try to go through that back and forth. So this is like the simplest one, right? So as you kind of see here, right, there's kind of one field, right, and you can see the validator, right? So this required validator, it basically kind of checks that this is the ID and this is the ID we kind of provide for the other field, right? But there's that, right? And if this kind of evaluates it true, then this is going to be required, right? Because basically this is show, and like the user is going to need to fill that out, right? So that's a simple list as well, right? So we're kind of at the finishing touches. So basically, what we're going to need to do now is that we're going to have to try to gather all this data, and then right. So because this is essentially going to be like an API call, right? And this is going to be a database update right here. So basically, what we want to try to do here is that we want to write endpoints for our artist, the album, and the genre, right? So basically, I think it's going to be an interesting function. I think I want to keep them separate, right? So basically, we can have create new artists, and then, or create new artists, and then we already have the ID, so we wouldn't have to worry about it. Create new artists, and then we probably just grab that ID back from that, create new album, create new genre. So let's just go ahead and see what that looks like. Alright, so basically what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for this album. We're going to be looking for this elevated button. Right, so if there's kind of no errors, right, we want to try to grab all the form values here. Right, we want to try to see what that looks like. So essentially, what we're going to need is the song title, right? So we're going to need all these text editing controllers, and we're going to need the information practically. I don't know if Floyd can give it to us like that. Right, so basically, I've been looking at other packages that, probably could do the job better. But, I think for the time being, we're just gonna use the basic one, right? Because this is not really pretty. I'd rather just access all the controllers that the form has. It looks like the form has access to all the controllers, right? So I would like to be able to try to do that as well. But I guess it is what it is. And then this is like all the way down here. Right, so I'm gonna try to say submit form. Submit form. Alright, now I'm going to say validate, then I kind of want to just grab all these values here. So all these values aren't really used, and now I think in here, like Flutter, we're definitely working it. I don't think this is efficient. There's probably other packages, but this will kind of do the job for the time being. So essentially, right, what you want to try to do, right? So we got the title, the YouTube URL, and then basically the album is equal to -1. Then we're going to call it additional functions, right? To update the database. So let's try to go to db.dart. we essentially want to try to do here is we want to say create song, right? We want to essentially say create song, so if everything kind of goes well, then we should be able to properly create the song, right? So say future void. All right, so there's that. So we have to make so we have to say create a bunch of create methods here, right? We're gonna have a create song. So what does a song need essentially, right? So if you kind of look at our update.sql, right, in order to create a song, and then the duration, I'm not really going to worry about the duration. You know, I kind of see that value there, but I'm not too interested in pulling the duration from the song. Only that's when it's kind of required. So I kind of see here is the string, which is the title. Right, and then I think for album, right, it could be NA, right? So we're just going to have that. So I say int album ID, int artist ID, and then we're going to say int the genre ID, and then the string is the URI. Alright, good. Right, and then we want to just say await db.raw insert, and then my SQL essentially is going to be I'm going to write my SQL statement. So let me try to do that right now. Alright, so this is what my function essentially is going to look like. I'm going to add all this information, so let's try to see what that looks like right here. Right, so now I have my create song, and then essentially, I think essentially what I want to try to do is that after I run that create song, right, then I want to be able to I also want to be able to update the I essentially what I want to try to do is I want to be able to update the songs as well, right? So I think I have a method in here that kind of not necessarily, but so after I create the song, so let's try to take this. Practically, we're just going to try to grab all this info here, right? So I kind of want to make this into a model, so it's easier to manage. All right, so I'm gonna make a model here, and it's like this might not be needed as much as anymore, so. Say create song. Alright, and then I'm also thinking to myself, right? We also kind of have like a song model, but probably just leverage as well. And kind of look at it, right? They're all strings though, right? So not necessarily. Right, so I think create song is going to be different. So create song. Let's do a model, and then essentially we're going to say that. it's practically going to be, and then essentially, since we kind of have, okay, everything's kind of, right, so that's how that's going to be. So instead of like deal with all these different properties, I can just deal with one song, right? So now I say create song, I say await, create song, so create song is going to be song, like so, and then we're going to delete that whole list of songs. Right, and then I think create song, what it will do in addition to this as well is that it's going to handle the logic just in case it finds like the album IDs and all the different information, right? And I'm going to need that information, right? It just might be. So string. So basically there's that, but essentially what I want to try to focus on right now is just being able to create the song, right? So I'll be able to say ref.read, and then we're going to get this notifier. I'll say create song, and then it's going to be essentially create song model, right? So there's our kind of values right here, right? So title, so album ID, just so I don't lose myself, right? I want to basically Alright, so basically there's that's what's going to look like, and then I think I have to add even more, like the artist title, all this additional information, right? And then I'll just probably let everything try to handle it from there. Right, and then what we want to try to do is we want to say go, and then I think the name is if anything, right? So watch, nav. Right, so we say what we do now that songs. And we really shouldn't need much to it. That should need to insert, right? So they're so that's how that goes, essentially, right? So I'll be able to create the song. But now let's try to get the additional information in there as well. Alright, so there's that. Right, so now if these are -1, I kind of want to handle it, but let's try to really come across a situation where that's not the case. Right, so so we type in
this odd little.
we're going to provide the URL, like so. Okay, so to paste it, so that's where it is. So beat it, so that's the name of it. Please enter the song's artist, right? We're just gonna say NA for now. The album, we're gonna say NA because it's also not here. We're gonna say NA, and then please choose a genre, a genre, and then let's try to say dance off for the time being. And then we're gonna hit submit, so we're gonna see that's the case. Then it looks like it's complaining about the rejects. So it's complaining about the. So I think it's complaining about the rejects. So I have to go check it out. Wherever it may be. Yeah, so this kind of looks right to me. I'm not too sure. And then it looks like it says watch. And it kind of ends in anything. So this looks like a good reject. So sometimes, yeah, it may not work. Alright, so I kind of did it right there. So now I kind of see that it's a beat it, right? And then I guess this one also has a genre of an A. But let's try to see. Let's try to play. And then, there's kind of our song now, right? So now that's amazing. Oh, what we could do is go ahead and like it, but it kind of looks like I can't get to that like button. So I'm going to have to do something about that. I'm gonna definitely have to do something about it because I can't seem to get to that last like button. So let's try to see. Let's try to go to songs real quick. Let's try to handle that. So it's not really anything obvious I could do here right now. So wrap of column, and then we're just going to say size the box. So let's see what that looks like. And then I think if anything, right, this might be not have to be wrapped in the appropriate widget. Usually we do these, yeah, so kind of this view kind of has nothing to it really, right? Good. So there's kind of that, and then my size box, right? So not to wrap widget. So right, so basically it's gonna have to have a flex of 2, and this is gonna have to have a flex of 10. Try to see if that's the case. Right? Yeah, so now we kind of have like one tiny, but I don't necessarily want that to kind of be there like that. Where I kind of want like additional padding like after the fact. If I just come in and say, unnecessary this view. Yeah, so it's kind of basically want to do here is that say plus one. Well, that kind of does the trick. So, right, so not really, not quite, not really. There's a bit more space. Right, so I like to try to, yeah, like gigantic and kind of, so I definitely have to add more units in the spacing here. That's one thing, right? Because like I think gigantic should go like 160 and all, but it looks like we're not giving ourselves a meaningful amount of space, but meaningful enough just to need to update here, right? And I think one thing I'm kind of noticing is that this is continuing to be built, and for some reason this async notifier provider always wants to try to concentrate you. So build. So there's kind of that we kind of saw. So now we want to try to see what essentially would happen, right? when we add information, and we actually try to provide the other string, right? So we want to try to see what that looks like. So I'm gonna say if. Right, so now we have to create a new artist, right? So now I kind of inserted these two, right? And then we got to use the to know that will most certainly happen. Right, so now this is what create artist would look like. Right, so that's what where is it, create artist, right? That's what that's going to look like. So now we'll work on the other two. Right, so this is what that looks like. But now what we got to do is that we got to take this date and make sure it's in the appropriate format. So. So this is a formatted release date that we're inserting. Hopefully this works. And then last but not least is going to be the genre ID. So let's work on that. Alright, so there's that. So we kind of know everything's going to be defined. So let's try to do it. Let's try to see the moment of truth here. Alright, there's that. And now, right, we can enter United States. That's it. If you can find it. And then the album is going to be NA. I already know the N. Hip hop. Good. There you go. Hey, it's submit. So let's see what that looks like. Right. So here we kind of go. So now we kind of have our song information. I really can't see it. But you know, let's try to go into the table. Well, maybe if we could try to look at a view, this would probably just help us out here. Right. So. Oh, and that's like the database inside, right? We kind of have access to it, so. But what we could essentially do is we want to try to add. Okay, let's try to see what's going on here. Alright, so now that I've kind of added the song, we really can't tell about the artist and the genre, but if we kind of look, there's our new entry for the artist, and then hip hop, there's our new entry for the genre. So basically that's it. So thanks you guys for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.